What's up, guys? Back with part 2 of Swimming in Slabs. Huge Topps Chrome PSA reveal. Sorry about that. The first one, the camera froze. No idea why, so I'm just going to continue along because I have plenty to show off. This Prism Refractor of Rafael Devers got a PSA Mint 9. That's going to be the theme, unfortunately, with the Prism Refractors. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of Prism Refractors. I love the X-Fractors, which were a Walmart exclusive. I wish they'd bring them back to Topps Chrome as part of the regular set and just do away with the Prism. I just think the Prism are the least coolest looking refractors. And I got a Mint 9 on the Chris sale. Obviously, you're looking for PSA 10s on those. You understand in the submission you're going to get some various 9s, but really got mostly all 9s on those Prisms. I'll have more Prisms, I'm sure, coming up. Unfortunately, these are a little mixed up, and that's just kind of the way PSA does it. So we got a Giancarlo Stanton Superstar Sensation that got a Gem Mint 10, so beautiful looking card. Appreciate everyone who tuned in to part 1 and those who come back for part 2. Again, sorry that the last one got cut off, but that's what happens sometimes when you go live. Here's another Prism Refractor. Again, PSA Mint 9 on the Harper. You know, I checked these out pretty good, so I think generally speaking, 4 sharp corners, edges, centering. I think the surface is free of scratches and such. My main thing is I'm assuming, you see that black line across there, that is my assumption why it was given a 9. And you kind of see those lines depending on the angle you look at it, so that is just my best guess without doing a ton of investigation into it. So that's a look at the first stack is now done. So we'll move on to stack number 2. Got a base refractor here of Albert Pujols, PSA Gem Mint 10. Really nice one there. Every now and then I'll get a few Pujols cards, slabbed, future Hall of Famer, of course. So I think there'll always be a market for his stuff. This is one of the better cards in the order. Got a PSA Gem Mint 10 on the green Gleyber Torres rookie. Torres stuff's gotten a little cheaper. He was hurt late in the year. So his stuff kind of cooled a little bit now post-baseball season. This is numbered to 99. I think that's an absolutely fantastic card. Has major upside in the future, so thrilled to get a PSA Gem Mint 10 on the Torres. We got a gold refractor here of Nolan Arenado. Really enjoy getting Arenado stuff slabbed as well. This guy is just unbelievable, great player. Obviously, a lot of people know him for his offense and his power, but incredible defender as well. This is the gold wave refractor, so that's a beautiful looking card. Numbered to 50, so that's really sweet. PSA Gem 10 on the Arenado. Got a photo variation here of Rafael Devers. Devers, another guy, super good talent. Got very overlooked this year with all the other hot young rookies. Super young, tons of upside, a lot of power. I think he's a guy to keep an eye on. His stuff's risen a little bit with him getting some national exposure in the postseason, but still super affordable. So I think Rafael Devers is still a good guy to chase after. Here's the X-Fractors. Love the look of these X-Fractors. Just like the look so much more than the Prism. Willie Calhoun, PSA Gem Mint 10. It's a rookie card. He was a highly touted prospect from the Dodgers organization. He's with Texas. Didn't get a whole lot of time this year, but still some ability. So I got 2 X-Fractors that looked good. Graded. So PSA Gem 10s on those. And then I also attempted to get a Kershaw X-Fractor. Did fall short on this one. Got a PSA Mint 9. So I got a Mint 9 on that one. So obviously with the modern stuff, you know, what knocks it down to a 9 can be the simplest, smallest little thing. It could be just a little slight surface scratch. It could be a tiniest of dings. So you do have to be very, very careful when submitting. Love this set, the 1983 top set. Refractor shine to it. Got a PSA Gem Mint 10 on the Giancarlo Stanton. It's one of those sets that I would just love to do the entire set. The whole Gem Mint 10 run, that would be amazing. Don't know that I'll actually do that, but it'd be really cool. Here's a Mookie Betts. Got a Gem 10 on this. You got to watch these for centering, I should say. Obviously, you got to watch everything on it, but centering, got a lot of these in runs that had some centering issues. So here's another PSA Gem Mint 10 Mookie Betts. And And we've got another Mookie Betts, also a Gem 10. Got a sweet Chris Bryant, again, Gem 10. The theme is Topps Chrome. It's for those who just joined who weren't in part 1. It's a 323 card order coming back. This was a private submission, just my stuff. Was not a group one. And it's a lot of Topps Chrome. It's basically all Topps Chrome. A few other cards mixed in, but Gem 10 on the Kershaw. As I kind of explained in case you missed part 1, you do want to be careful with the modern stuff. Certainly much easier to get high grades, to get PSA 10s than the old stuff. But just because you open a pack of cards and it's pack fresh does not mean it's a Gem 10. You have to watch out for scratches, centering, edges, corner. Check them all out. Make sure you look over your cards well. I mean, there were plenty of cards that I don't send in because of issues right out of the pack. Got a PSA Gem 10 on this Sweet Harper. It's a nice one there. Be kind of interesting to see where he ends up this offseason. Got a Mint 9 on this one. So again, could be the slightest thing. Maybe the centering a little bit left to right. Maybe a very small surface issue. Gem Mint 10 Rhys Hoskins. This will be a run of Hoskins, I'm sure. There's another one. Probably opened more retail of this product. I think the retail was not a bad buy this year. And I think the thing with Topps Chrome is they certainly increased production during the course of this year compared to previous years. There's little doubt in my mind about that. But at the same time, this is an incredible rookie class. Greatly talented, and I think a lot of potential for the future. I think it's one you want to keep your eye on. Acuna, amazing. Torres, super talented. You have guys like Devers and Albies. And then you have guys like Hoskins. Hoskins a little older than the other rookies, but still tons of ability. So, big stack of Hoskins here. And you'll see stacks of other big-time rookies as well at some point. So if you're into modern cards and you're into modern slabs, this is a video that you will enjoy. Just seeing the nice lighthouse encapsulated Chrome cards. Miguel Andujar, PSA Gem Mint 10. Potential Rookie of the Year, we'll see. I would say it's probably between him and Otani. I know there's a lot of people that are in the Andujar camp. I could see it going either way. I mean, Andujar had a great offensive season. Otani had a really good offensive season too. Didn't play as much as Andujar. Did do some amazing things on the mound as well prior to his injury. So it's a close one. But again, just amazing talent in this rookie class. So it did very well with the Andujars. All right, here's a few random cards that are not Topps Chrome. This is actually from the National Convention. PSA Gem Mint 10, Joey Votto. It's a nice card. I got a few of these done. This is one of my favorites. Ken Griffey Jr. These came from the silver packs. So a little tip, if you go to the National next year or any year in the future, you can get some great bargains on wax. And one of the benefits of that is, depending on what the price point is, you can get 1 or 2 silver packs from Topps, the exclusives. Absolutely worth doing. These packs can be loaded. My best card was actually a red refractor of Vlad Guerrero Jr., numbered to 5, so that was obviously a huge pool. But other people, I know Up North Collectors pulled tons of autographs. They did really, really well. So it's something to look at. It's something to consider because those silver packs are loaded. There's a PSA Gem Mint 10 Walker Buehler, so we'll have a few Buehlers. I didn't send too many of him in. Would like to have sent more now, knowing how well he's been. But here's another Bueller. What's up to all the guys out there watching? I will, I'll try and respond to some of them if I can. Another Bueller. I know Ed popped in, so Ed, appreciate you jumping in. Should have a group reveal hopefully tomorrow. Got a notification from FedEx that I should have a package tomorrow. So that will be a group submission. Hope to hop on live tomorrow night and do it. Probably more realistic to do it on Wednesday afternoon, but I'll try and do it Tuesday night if I can. Ed, I was going to hold off on that. I was just doing my stuff here. I can show yours off in the video tomorrow if you want. Up to you. It's a nice Alex Verdugo. I'm going to have to make sure this sucker's plugged in. Unfortunately, I think my phone, I'm doing this on the phone because it's the easiest with this. And it is nearing the end of its dear life, I think. For some reason, the plugging it in is really tough. It's super sensitive, so it's like a nightmare scenario here. Because I certainly didn't want to have to do a third part to this. But now suddenly the battery is starting to go, so that's a little disappointing. Let's keep going for a few minutes. Alex Verdugo, PSA Gem Mint 10. And I wanted to make this as easy for me as possible. That's why I used the phone here. I could have set up the equipment and the microphone and done it with the streamed from the PC, but decided to use the phone, and it froze the first time, and now got the battery issue. So another Gem 10 on Verdugo. Looks like we got a charge going right now, but for how long, we'll see. So here's just a base Aaron Judge, just a beautiful looking card. Thought it was super cool, so wanted to send a couple of them in. Sent a second one, also got a Gem 10 on that. That's a beautiful looking card. Very tight here, as you can imagine, with the wall of slabs. Trying to work around them. Gem 10 on a Giancarlo Stanton. So this probably won't be the most, the greatest looking video or the greatest well done video that you're going to see on my channel, but you try and do what you can do. So that Mookie Betts got a Gem 10. Got a Francisco Mejia Gem 10. Trying to avoid the camera shake as much as possible. There's a nice Kingery, Scott Kingery rookie. Got a PSA Gem 10 on that one. I think that's the only Kingery I sent in, if I remember right. Obviously, this was a huge order, so I had to start getting pretty picky. I think I sent in a handful of certain rookies. There's a Mint 9 on this Rhys Hoskins. This is from the 83 set. Definitely some centering issues top to bottom. I'd say that was probably the biggest deal with that one. Another Hoskins, got a Gem 10 on that. Got a few more from the National. PSA Gem Mint 10 on the Gleyber Torres. So that's a beautiful rookie card there. Definitely be keeping most of those. I might sell off a few, maybe like Joey Votto or something. Got a Gem 10 on the Correa. But I like the convention cards. To me, it's a cool card for the collection, and it's also a bit of a keepsake. Memory from the amazing trip I had to Cleveland. So Ronald Acuna, Gem 10. These are definitely one for the PC, and the rest are going in the save and see what happens pile. Because it is my belief that Ronald Acuna is an incredible baseball player. I don't think he's just a prospect, just a rookie. I think he is, the sky is the limit for him. So another Gem 10. Try and speed this up a little bit. Acuna, Gem 10, Acuna, Gem 10, Acuna, Gem 10. Did really good with the Acuñas. There's another Gem 10 Acuna, another one. And then we're on to Mr. Shohei Otani, who again, another guy, had a fantastic year. Fantastic ability, incredible ability. I honestly think that a lot of people in the hobby actually underestimate Shohei. Obviously, there's people who overpay for his stuff, and he has the huge Japanese market, so his stuff is insanely expensive. But I think there's like this stigma in the hobby that, you know, he's more of a fad. And I think his ability as a hitter is unbelievable. And I think a lot of people overlook how good he is on the field and how great his ability is. So I think he's actually a bit underrated. I'm not saying he's underpriced, but I do think some people, they say he's hurt, and hey, he's not going to pitch next year. He won't be able to, but he will absolutely be able to DH. So it'd be really interesting to see how his career develops. So did really well in the Otani base here. Another one. And then here's the rest of that stack. Otani. Otani. Oh, living set. Did well in these living sets as well. Sent in 2 Pat Nesheks, just hoping to get 110. Got 2 10s, so very cool for the Phillies and Pat Neshek collection and the living set collection. So I did really well in my living set sends in this submission. Again, it was only a handful of cards, but I got Gem 10s on the Sandberg and Pat Neshek, so that's cool. All right, we're going to go with the stack over this way. Get that out of the way because I can start creating more piles. Here's some of the Sepia tones. Victor Robles, PSA Gem Mint 10. Robles, just another rookie with a ton of ability. Obviously didn't play a whole lot last year, but I think he's a guy who will certainly get to play next year, and he has superstar ability. We'll see if it works out. Another guy, Alex Verdugo. Certainly not all of these guys are going to work out. There's no doubt about that. At least it's unlikely. But awesome ability there. So nice Verdugo. I'm a big fan of the Sepia tones. PSA Gem Mint 10 on the Ozzie Albies. I think these were also a retail exclusive. These were in the blaster boxes. So the Sepias are in the blaster boxes. The pinks were in the rack packs. And then the X-Fractors were Walmart mega boxes. I only did like 2 of the Walmart ones. Got a Gem Mint 10 on the Mike Trout. That's great for the Trout collection. Got a Gem 10 on the Aaron Judge. Just think these cards are unbelievable looking. Giancarlo Stanton, PSA Gem Mint 10. Miguel Andujar. So guys, remember to go back once this video is posted and it's archived. If you have any comments, feel free to comment there. I'll get back to you. Hit the like button, of course. There's a Scherzer PSA 9 on that one, so a little disappointing there. But again, you're not going to get a 10 on everything. You're going to have to accept the fact you're going to get some 9s. You're just going to overlook some things. Jose Ramirez, PSA Gem 10. This is pretty damn sweet here. PSA Gem 10 on the Walker Buehler. Really stood out in the postseason this year. It's another Buehler. Nice run of Buehlers here. And that's it for Walker Buehlers. There's one more Sepia, then we move on to some more base rookies. Gem 10 on the Mookie Betts. He's a guy whose stock has obviously risen during the course of the year. Just had an awesome year. And really young and really good. And man, baseball is loaded with young talent. Here's a Gleyber Torres base, PSA Gem 10. I mean, hopefully people out there are enjoying the current state of baseball. People like to complain about it and kind of look back in the old days, but I don't know that it's ever been loaded with more talent from around the world. Just incredible. Just so young and youthful right now. So many great young players. I think baseball is amazing. Hopefully people out there are enjoying it. It has become semi-regional to a degree. I mean, there's people who enjoy it, but I know the World Series ratings had some issues, which is a shame. It was not the best of World Series, but it was solid. Definitely well worth watching. Glaber Gem 10. Another Glaber. I think baseball does need to get their act together. They need to start promoting the game. They need to find a way to promote it online, social media, all that stuff. They really need to kick things into gear. These young guys need to be exposed. I mean, I think they need to be shown to America. There's a nice Albies Gem 10. Guys were bigger superstars in baseball back in the late 80s and early 90s. I really think baseball needs to find a way to get more games on national TV, and I think they need to get some more games starting earlier in the day so you don't have all these games starting super, super late and running into the late night. And I think they need to find a way to get going with social media big time. Guys, I'm having a little more problems with the battery, so I'm going to have to fool with that a little bit to get it going. So you're going to get a little camera shake, unfortunately. Here we go, at least for a few minutes. All right, another Albies. There should be games broadcast free on YouTube. There should be condensed games on YouTube. There should be highlights. I think that's imperative to baseball's, future. Another Gem 10. You got to remember, kids nowadays, they're watching video games on the computer all the time. Another Albies. And then last three in the pile, Albies. And here's an Eric Hosmer rookie from 2011 Topps Update. Bought this at the National. I think I got it out of a 50-cent box, if I remember right, or maybe a 3 for $2 box. I took a look at it, looked really good, sent it off, got a PSA Gem in 10. Hosmer's not a superstar, but he's a really good player. He's part of a legendary set. And, he's a guy who helped the Royals win a World Series, part of some great Royals teams. So, to me, it was worth getting done. PSA Gem 10. There's one more Nishak, Living Set, PSA Gem in 10. Living Set is definitely, can be tough at times to get Gem 10s on. So, anytime you can get them, it's a good thing. All right, on to the next stack. 4 more stacks to go. PSA Gem Mint 10 Ozzie Albies Freshman Flash. It's a really nice set. All the chrome insert sets were just great looking this year. Here's another Albies. And another Albies. And another Albies. So hopefully you guys are entertained. I know some people don't like graded PSA reveals of modern cards. They don't like seeing all the Gem 10s. Future Star set, another cool set. Kind of a tough set in terms of players. Judge is by far, I think, he was the best one. I mean, I guess you have Bregman and Benintendi, but a lot of guys who probably aren't future stars. Sent off some of the Judge cards, though, so I'll show off a few more of them. Did really well on those. Gem 10s. So the real work after this video is done is going to be going through and placing each and every one of these cards in a perfect fit sleeve. Perfect fit sleeves is the way to go. Not a paid advertisement, but they're great. It's a great way to use it. I don't know why you wouldn't use perfect fit sleeves. There are a few other guys out there that make the sleeves for these cards, but perfect fit to me is the best. At the very least, you should use the Ultra Pro ones. They're a little too big on the sides. But the worst is if you go and buy a slabbed card on eBay and it comes thrown in an envelope and it's scratched to hell. To me, that is just a huge disappointment. Here's the run of Acuna base. This one was the mint 9. So, not going to hit on them all. Another mint 9 on that one. So I guess I had 2 mint 9s in the Acunas. Another gem 10. And one more Acuna, gem 10. So we got another living set card coming up here. Got a mint 9 on this one. It is the Ted Williams. I knew right from the beginning when I evaluated this one that it was not going to get a 10. I thought I had a good shot at a 9. Just wanted to get it slabbed. I was a big fan of the Ted Williams living set card. I was actually a bit surprised to get a gem 10 on the Stanton. I thought this was going to get a 9, but I'll certainly take it. PSA gem mint 10 on the Giancarlo Stanton. Looks like we got some refractors coming up here. Got a refractor of Albert Pujols. And another Pujols. So, refractors look cool. The Pujols looks great. A few Verdugo's refractors. PSA gem mint 10. And Verdugo was a mint 9. So some of these I'll look at. I know there were, my biggest worry with a lot of the Chrome cards was the centering on the back is a little off on some. So this might be one of those cases. It's only 2.5 squares on the side. That's how I was checking centering on the back of these, because there were some that were way off. The front's harder to tell, obviously. There's a mint 9 on this Devers. I'm guessing it's from the centering. I mean, I was pretty critical of the surface. And I think with centering, I let some just go through. That was a gem 10. This one's a gem 10. Victor Robles, PSA gem mint 10. Another Robles. Either way, he'll be a starting outfielder in Washington next year, is my guess. Gem mint 10, Corey Seager, refractor. Some of the Stars refractors I looked at and sent in. Not too many. Most of them I didn't bother looking at, but here's a Chris Sale, gem 10, World Series champion. Chris Sale doesn't get a lot of hobby love, but incredible player. It's a nice gem mint 10 of Francisco Lindor. I'm a huge Lindor fan. Definitely keeping eyes on 2015 cards. Mint 9 on the Austin Hayes. Obviously a disappointment. Looking for a 10 on that. This one, just got this done for the Phillies collection. Nick Williams. I'm a fan of Nick Williams. I don't know if he'll be back next year or not. I think he's the type of guy who could get moved in the offseason depending on what they do in free agency. But he certainly has plenty of ability, and he's gotten better kind of year by year. This one's awesome. PSA gem mint 10, Max Scherzer. I've become a huge Scherzer fan over the years. And he's one of those guys who doesn't get the credit he deserves. We always talk about the guys who have the terrible contracts. We never talk about the guys who live up. When he signed his deal, people were like, wow, the Nationals are nuts. He's lived up to every penny of that. He's been incredible. Mint 9 on the Torres refractor. A little disappointing. Obviously, you want a gem 10 on that. That's a bigger card. Not that you want 9s on any cards, but I'd rather get a 9 on a lesser card. But got a gem 10 on the Torres, so that's awesome. Gem mint 10 on another refractor. Got a color refractor here, which is super awesome looking. Blue refractor, Aaron Judge, PSA gem mint 10. So that one's numbered to 150. So really cool Aaron Judge there. 3 stacks left. And this has been going for about a half hour. First one was about 12 minutes, so about what I expect. More than 1983 Topps inserts. Mike Trout, PSA gem mint 10. what's going on to everyone in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Trying to read what I can. Some of them I read and I can't respond because I'm just trying to get through the video. Got a mint 9 on this. Others are just trying to get a rise out of you, and that's okay. Everyone's entitled to their own interaction. Victor Robles, 83, PSA Gem mint 10. PSA Gem mint 10. Rafael Devers, PSA Gem mint 10. Another Devers. So it's fun to get the modern stuff graded from time to time, of course, too. Got a 10 on the Devers and a 9 on the Hoskins. I'd say that Hoskins is probably centering left to right. When you get stuff graded, you can learn a lot about the cards. You can learn a lot about kind of the art of grading. It is... It can be a challenge for sure. You can learn a lot. A lot of people kind of can train their eye to look for things. I always tell people, look for a reason why it's not a 10, not an excuse to send it in and wish it's a 10. And I think your return rate of 10s will go up. Now, at one point, I was doing just incredible with the 10s, and then I kind of let my foot off the gas a little bit and start getting a little more lenient because I felt like I was tossing so many 10s back in the box. And I think a 9 can be okay from time to time. Obviously, on the modern stuff, a 9 is way less desirable. But you can kind of learn a little bit of stuff. Another Gem 10 on the Otani. Obviously sent in a number of the Otanis. And then another Hoskins. Andujar base, PSA Gem mint 10. So this is going to be a little run of Andujars. This one was a mint 9. 9 was the lowest. Gem 10. What's up, Joe T? I also have lots of Jorge Alfaro. Picked up a bunch of his stuff pretty cheap last year. Another Andujar. Few Robles rookies. PSA Gem mint 10. Another Robles. Obviously, it all depends on what happens with certain guys. Certain guys' stuff will cool off over time. Will never really take off if they don't perform on the field. Performing on the field is obviously the biggest aspect of it. Certain guys' stuff, at some point in time, that's when it takes off. It can take a few years. Sometimes guys are super hot. They hit their peak really early. Other guys, it takes a few years. I mean, Mookie Betts stuff was pretty cheap as of like 2 years ago, and now it's certainly taken off quite a bit. So I sent in a few more Robles than I remembered, but hey, they all worked out well. Got a few Mike Trout base here coming up. Mike Trout, PSA Gem mint 10. And another Trout. Can never really go wrong with the Mike Trouts. He's got to be maybe the most collected current baseball player. If you ever look at Four Sharp Corners, one of those websites, they're always loaded with Trout, and there's a reason. Because they sell well. So, some sweet Trouts here. Be great to see him get some national exposure in the postseason. Unfortunately, the Angels seem to struggle with putting together a good team. Trout card's really nice. I think my favorite Trout Chrome card is 2016, where he's leaping at the wall. That card's unbelievable. Got another one of those National Convention cards coming up. This is a Chris Bryant from the National Convention, the silver packs, Gem Mint 10, very, very cool. And then the guy that I probably wanted the 10 the most out of for the collection, unfortunately got a Mint 9. Mint 9 on the Rhys Hoskins. And I think I remember when I was looking at it, I was pretty convinced it would probably be a 9, but I decided to take a shot and send it in. And you know what? The 9's all right. It's just for the collection. It's a memory of going out to Cleveland, hanging out with people in the YouTube community, checking out cards, just kind of living cards only there for a couple days. It's one of the greatest few days of the year. So here's a run on Otani's coming up. PSA Gem 10 Otani. And another Otani. Yeah, you can learn a lot from Elite Co 3. Nolan's well trained in this hobby for sure. Grading cards, rookies, looking at trends. So there's a Otani, and another Otani, and another Otani, and another Otani. One more Otani, and final Otani. So breeze through those. Showed you all those Otanis real quick. Another one. Sent in a bunch of Otanis. I think his stuff will pick up steam a little bit again in spring. And then, you know, if he gets back and he's hitting, I think his popularity will continue to grow. Got some Gleyber Torres rookies. He won't be pitching next year. He will hit at some point next year. So that's just what the plan is with Otani. You never know. Guys have setbacks, but everyone just generally thinks he's out for the year next year, and that's just a false statement. Can't throw. You can still hit. Might not be in April, but Gleyber Torres. Nolan really crushed it with the 89 Donruss Ken Griffey's. He really paid great attention to the trend, the success rate on getting Gem Mint 10s. And he called it. And those cards have taken off now. In the last 2 years, I think they've gone up from like 45 to 50 to close to 200. Another Gleyber. Gleyber Torres, Mint 9. Guess I sent in more Nisheks than I realized. There's 2 more PSA Gem Mint 10s. I guess the run on these was pretty strong. They looked pretty good, so sent the Nisheks in. There's certainly some people out there collecting the living set cards, trying to do the entire run of Gem Mint 10s. Super looking Superstar Sensations, Bryce Harper, PSA Gem Mint 10. Nice Seager Gem 10. This one actually came back, this submission came back super, super quick. I forget the exact date, but it literally took, it's usually a 65 business day turnaround. Mint 9 on the Lindor here. This one came back actually in less than 30 full days, not even business days. So this thing came back way sooner than expected. The group submission that should be in tomorrow was sent like 2 months before it, and it's just coming back. So this came back super quick. Nice Chris Bryant, Gem Mint 10. Another Chris Bryant. And one more Chris Bryant. Superstar Sensations. Just fantastic looking cards. They look great in slabs. So we got an Ozzy Albies here. This is the Prism Refractor, Mint 9. There's a cool one here. Purple Refractor, Walker Buehler, PSA Gem Mint 10. It's numbered there to 299, Walker Buehler. There's an Acuna, PSA Mint 9, Prism. Again, I'm going to take a quicker, better look at the Prism at some point. I assume it's got to be something to do with the surface of maybe the refractor, because most of them came back Mint 9s. This one did get a gem Mint 10, though. It is Max Scherzer. Bregman got a 9. And a 9 for the Giancarlo Stanton. Did get a gem Mint 10 on Albert Pujols. At some point, a guy like that, Albert Pujols, is a Hall of Famer in the future. You're going to have people who want to do maybe a little PSA gem Mint 10 run of all the different variations of the Chrome cards, different stuff like that. Got a PSA gem Mint 10 on the Aaron Judge. So that's cool. Verdugo got a PSA gem Mint 10 on the Prism. Ozzie Albies got a Prism PSA Mint 9. So that's it, except for the last stack here. So again, appreciate everyone who joined. Definitely appreciate you guys watching live. Tune in to the archive. I'm sure that'll be up shortly after this. Got a gem 10 on the Mookie Betts. You can always go over there and comment and hit the like button and all that good stuff. PSA gem Mint 10 on the second Mookie Betts. PSA gem Mint 10 on yet another Mookie Betts. So that's cool. And if you didn't see in the comments, Baseball Card Babe's got an order. She'll be showing off. I think she said it would be tonight. So check that out. Here's a sweet one here. The Sepia Gleyber Torres PSA gem Mint 10. Hopefully, sometime soon, have another podcast up. I think I need to reply back to your email. Yeah, the Prisms were tough. I did not do very well with them. Most other stuff did pretty well. Another Torres. I did great on the Torres Sepias. There's actually a fourth one. Now we got a Rhys Hoskins. Happy to get one of these for the collection. Looks like I did get a second one. I'll always try and send in two that I really want in the collection. Obviously, if I'm going to send them in if I feel really good about them, but even if I'm taking a chance, you hope that you get 10 on one of them. It's a really nice Nolan Arenado, PSA gem Mint 10. Got a Bryce Harper here, PSA gem Mint 10. I've been collecting Harper quite a bit over the last couple years, so big fan of Harper. Would love to see him in some red pinstripes next year, but we'll see. I certainly think it's possible. I don't know that it's super likely, but I think it's possible. We should know more in another month or so. It's Giancarlo Stanton Refractor, PSA gem Mint 10. Chris Bryant. His stuff's cooled off quite a bit over the last year or so, but still super popular. And I like to get some of his stuff graded when I can. I think the Refractor looks great. So Jose Altuve, PSA gem Mint 10. Big fan of refractors. I mean, I'm a sucker for the 90s refractors. I think they certainly look a little better than the current day stuff, the full bleed photos. Takes a little bit away from the shine, but still cool. It's a nice Clayton Kershaw. It is a refractor. Kind of tough to see that that shine on this one. Super dark. That was a gem 10. Another Kershaw gem 10. Unfortunately for him, a little bit of a rough World Series. So He's pitched some great games in the postseason in his career, but his struggles have been well documented. It's going to be that little black mark on his career. To the home stretch with some more Albies. PSA Gem Mint 10. Another Albies. Another Albies. Little Rafael Devers action might close us out here. Devers. Devers is, let's see, he is still only 22 years old. World Series champion. Another Devers. Go through the stack here. Devers, 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 Devers. So 4 more Devers, PSA 10s. Looks like we're going to have some Devers and then a couple Hoskins. Gem 10, Gem 10, Gem 10, Gem 10, and Gem 10. We're coming up on the portion of the year where it's actually great to buy baseball. You're going to be able to get a lot of awesome deals on baseball stuff as people turn their attention to football and, of course, hockey and basketball being in season as well. Baseball becomes an afterthought for a little while. This is something you want to keep an eye on. It's another Hoskins Gem 10. Back to Devers, PSA Gem Mint 10. And then we got a couple cards that are not from Topps Chrome. We got an Ozzy Albies from Topps Archives. I guess this is probably out of my first blaster box, and it just looked sharp, so I threw it in the order. Got a PSA Gem Mint 10 on that. And then final card, this is actually also from the National. When I was there, I busted a box of 2013 Finest, pulled an Arenado, and sent it in. Got a PSA Gem Mint 10. So that's it for the majority of the order. The last few things I do have here are just actually a few that have messed up slabs. And I already called PSA. These are going to have to go back. I'm just waiting to hear from them. You can sort of see it here. They have some sort of scuffing on the inside of the slab, that Hoskins. This is way more noticeable here with the Trout. I'll show you to the side there. You can see the white in there. Looks probably worse in person. This Otani might be worse. See all these marks? Those marks are on the inside of the case, and you can see the reflection from the chrome card on it when you look in person. So, kind of called PSA. This Harper's got it as well. I have to double check and make sure none of the others have it. It's kind of hard to notice while doing the live video. But these ones are going to have to go back for reslabbing. That'll be on PSA. Outside of that, guys, that's a little look at this Chrome order. A lot of really sweet stuff, really nice cards. Obviously, a ton of Gem Mint 10s as to be expected with the modern stuff. But again, just for guys out there getting their cards slabbed, especially the modern stuff, make sure you take a look at it, kind of double check it. And, you know, just be critical of the cards. You know, it's okay to get some lower grades from time to time, but you want to be careful, of course, when you're sending stuff in. Appreciate everyone watching. Comment below, let me know what you think. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys next time. Have a great one.